Welcome to Bedtime History. During our last episode, we learned about Abraham Lincoln's difficult childhood in Kentucky, where he learned to work hard and read books on his own until he gained enough knowledge to eventually become a lawyer. As a lawyer, Abraham worked very hard for others. Over time, he became interested in politics. Politics is all about voting and leaders in government. Abe wanted to become a leader so he could help shape and change the country for the better. His first job in the state government was the House of Representatives. Later, he was part of the U.S. House of Representatives. There, he helped pass laws to build railroads and support banks so the state could grow and improve. At the same time, slavery was a very sad problem in America. Slavery is when someone is forced to work without any pay. Many Americans had slaves that they treated very, very poorly and made them work very hard. Abe was against slavery spreading to the new states in America. He argued this against another leader named Stephen A. Douglas. These arguments became very intense at times because Americans were very upset about slavery, either being for it or against it. At this time, Abe ran for President of the United States. Many Americans were against him being president because they wanted to keep slavery. Also, many Americans thought Abe could never win because he was just a farm boy from the woods who didn't have very much money or schooling. But Abe cared about helping the country, and to everyone's surprise, he won and became the President of the United States. The people who loved Abe were very excited for such a caring man to become their president. But the people who wanted to keep slavery were angry and wanted to start their own country. They said they would form a new country where they could keep their slaves. This was the Civil War because it was a fight between two parts of our country. The two sides were called the North and the South. Soon very dangerous fighting began, and many soldiers on both sides died. It was a very sad time for our country. Abraham Lincoln wanted more than anything to keep the country together. He believed we were stronger and better as one country, not broken apart. But he was also very sad to see soldiers dying on both sides. Some wanted to quit the fight, but Abe was determined to not give up. He gave the Gettysburg Address, and his bold words inspired Americans to follow him.
Our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal.
He also worked to create new laws to stop slavery even when it was unpopular to do so. After many years and much fighting, the war finally came to an end when General Robert E. Lee surrendered to the North. It was a time of much celebration for the North. Many lives had been lost, but in the end the country stayed together and the slaves had become free. Some leaders could have been harsh to the losing side of the war, but Abraham Lincoln was determined to show kindness and mercy to his enemies and do all he could to rebuild the broken country. Tonight, my wife, my daughter, and I are here at the actual Lincoln Memorial. It's quite the amazing place. You walk up to it, and it's so much larger than you'd even expect, and it's definitely a very special place, and as everyone is here to reverence the amazing president that Abraham Lincoln was.
Okay, I got it.
Read it for me.
Right here.
Okay.
With malice towards none, with charity for all, with firmness in the right, as God gives us to see the right, let us serve on to finish the work we are in, to blind up the nation's wounds, to care for him who shall have borne the battle, and for his widow and his orphan, to do all which may achieve I think it's crowded.
Crowded? What do you think about Abraham Lincoln's statue? You know, we're kind of...
It's really, really big, you know. It's white. 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and decided to... I'm just going to start over.
Okay.
7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this convention a new nation, convinced in liberty and decided to the proposition that all men are created equal. That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain. That this national under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people by the people for the people shall not perish from the earth.